Welcome to Everyday Asphalt. My name is Jim Warren. The purpose of this program is to go a little bit deeper in the areas of materials, design, construction, and maintenance. We post all these programs on our YouTube site. You can go to YouTube and type in Everyday Asphalt, and we'll pop up there. Please like and subscribe. And we have a playlist there on Apex, the Asphalt Pavement Exchange, and also on TXAPA, the Texas Asphalt Pavement Association. We also post these on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and most of your audio platforms. Again, search for Everyday Asphalt, and you can find us there. And come listen to us while you're driving down the road. Today we're in Amarillo. We're on the road. We're out of the studio. Finally got out of the studio for a day, and we're up in Amarillo, and we're with Blair Johnson and Wes Kimmel. Welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming. Be here. Today we're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff, but I just wanted to kind of, before we get started, give me a little bit of your story. Give me a little bit of background. How did you get here, and what was your journey through TxDOT?
So really, when I was younger, I worked in construction with the family business.
Oh, okay.
I was going to school, and I didn't really know what I was going to do with my life. And I remember one day we were pretty short on hands, and I was having to run the roller, the water truck, the loader, the blade, and I had trucks hauling to me. And I was hot and I was tired. And my dad pulled up and he said, "How's it going?" And I just gave him that look, and he said, "Have you ever thought about being an engineer?" I said, "What's that?" Okay. He said, "The guys that draw these plans that we build." And so that summer, I was enrolled in school the next fall.
Okay.
And so I went to Tech, graduated from Tech, and then as I came out of Tech, my grades were good enough that no design company offered me an interview.
Okay.
And so I had a choice between construction and TxDOT.
Okay.
And I decided to come back to TxDOT because it's closer to home.
Okay.
And
where are you from?
Amarillo.
Oh, are you really?
Born and raised.
Wow, no kidding.
Yeah, and so when I came back to Amarillo, you had to work 4 years under a PE to get your license. And so I thought I'd work 4 years at TxDOT and go back to construction. And 23 years later, here we are here.
Awesome. That's cool. So you're a homeboy.
Yep.
You're probably the only DE that's a homeboy. I'm thinking.
I think so. Probably far and few between.
Wow, that's interesting. Well, great. How about you, Wes?
Maybe similar story. I'm local. I'm not homegrown Amarillo. I'm about an hour north of here in a little town called Centennial, is where I grew up. But I probably didn't quite have the same story as he did. I kind of really knew I kind of wanted to do something engineering. I kind of enjoyed messing with numbers and math, but went to college, and I probably wasn't even really going for civil to begin with. I was kind of looking at something else, but they kind of gave us maybe kind of like a preliminary test to kind of see what type of engineering
your
you really fall
aptitude,
into.
kind of one of those things. Okay.
And it really aligned with civil, and so it kind of made me change my direction a little bit. The first year I was at Tech, and ran through Tech, and about the time I kind of come out, the bust is happening of 2009, late 2008 time period.
Yep.
But I snuck in here with TxDOT, and I'll be honest, I've been here ever since. And so ran up through the rankings. Been basically in the Pampa area office for the majority of my career. Was AE for a little over 5 years, and then I've moved to the district, and now here I am.
What was your first job at TxDOT?
I was an EA. I worked out of the Pampa area office, inspecting. A couple years later, I spent 2 years here down the hallway in design.
You did the rotation.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What was your first job?
I was in the Canyon area office when it was open.
Okay.
So my first job was mainly inspection.
Okay.
And then we walked through design, area engineer, director of operations.
Okay. So how many area offices are there here?
3.
3. Okay. And
So
how many miles of roadways do you guys have?
A little over 9,600.
Yeah, wow. 9,600 lane
Is
miles.
that lane miles?
Lane miles.
Wow, that's a bunch. You've got. I mean, it's interesting. It's just, I love Texas because it's so different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Drove up yesterday, 8-hour drive up here, and I'm only halfway through Texas, right? So it's a big place. But you've got these big centers, and then there's like a whole lot of nothing.
That's how Amarillo is.
And it's a pretty country. It really is. It was a fun drive up yesterday. So what other than What's the big industries up here? What are the big things that are beat up your roads?
You know, we're really agricultural heavy up here, and so we see, you know, feed yards in the southwest. We've got dairies in the northwest. We've got oil and gas in the northeast. We've got, you know, wind energy throughout the central part of our deal. We've also got Pantex, which is they're about a 5,000 employee outfit, and they do mainly the disassembly of nuclear.
Oh, really?
Of nuclear weapons for the whole
Okay.
country. So
Wow.
that's a big employer for us, and we've
That's
got
here-
several
that's here?
here, but
Yes, sir.
we're very much agricultural based up here.
Okay. So you get that seasonal heavy loads or overloads.
Harvest and you know dairies, they're year round, and
Year-round.
so we have a lot of truck traffic. I mean, it's pretty normal for us to see 60% truck traffic on roadways.
No kidding.
And you know where they develop these dairies is on FM roads that weren't
Yep.
designed to
They come up,
That
they
weren't
come up,
did-
they get
yeah.
wider, they get deeper. Yeah.
Yes.
weren't designed to handle that type
Yeah.
of loading, and so it's been a real
So
challenge.
that's a challenge just to kind of keep up with that. And then they come in with a wind farm and all the
Yes.
loads associated with the construction and operation of those things
Correct.
is immense. And then oil and gas is
Yeah,
oil and gas,
Yes.
you know, everything. And then you're the one part of the state when you look at we're looking at the asphalt binder curve, the binder map, the PG binder map, and you guys are kind of unique up here. You guys have got some cool weather that you have to deal with annually, and the rest of the state, not so much compared to relatively speaking. So you've got that aspect as well as cold temperatures and heavy loads, and that can cause problems as well. So,
yeah. We average 18 inches of snow and 18 inches of rain a
Do you
year.
really?
Yep.
Wow, okay. I'm getting a little bit today. Not much, but not much. So the rationale behind this discussion was we were looking at the TXAPA awards, the awards that are given annually, and you guys keep like winning. And I was like, we got to come up and just talk to you guys about this because, you know, there's some districts that don't win at all, and some districts that win occasionally. But you guys, and I think it's for the last 6 years, you've won 9 awards, which I think is probably the most of anybody in the state. And you won the Super Bowl of pavements, and a lot of people don't understand that. The National Asphalt Pavement Association has an award system it doesn't measure the same things we do. Our award program measures basically, it's subjective. We're going to ride it. We're going to see what it looks like. We're going to see what it feels like. We're going to do those kinds of things. And then the winners from the TXAPA awards, the DOT TXAPA awards, get sent to the National Asphalt Pavement Association for their national award program. And we submit 10, 11 awards annually, and we're getting 9, 10. I think we got 11 all that submitted won. And they look at details. They look at ride. They look at standard deviations. They look at the material properties and everything. So this is a shout out to Chuck Fuller. His thing, if it looks good and the ride's good, it's probably going to be good. Because our awards program kind of supports what we're seeing from a quality perspective, from a national perspective. So that's congratulations. I think that's a pretty good deal.
Well, thank you.
What does that mean to you guys when you win like a statewide award? Or is it just like, well, you know, whatever, just another one, throw it on the rack, or is that?
He's looking at me, but it's an awesome accomplishment, and I really think it's probably more towards our folks on the ground, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, this thing really. I mean, if you really think of these things kick off from the design level all the way through the construction completion, right? I mean, we're in communication with each other, making sure things are being captured in the plan sets that we want to accomplish, right? Followed by our inspection folks out there in the field. And I think some of those relationships with our inspection folks and the contractors probably get us where we're at today.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, I think it just takes a team of, you know, from especially on whether it's our suppliers, our contractors, our design staff, our inspection staff, our labs. It takes the whole team to deliver these projects, and
Agree.
they all take pride in their work, and
Good.
that's really
What does that mean to the district, though? What does that mean to you guys?
well. It just makes us proud of our staff, right?
Okay.
I mean, I think it's a testament to our district and our work ethic and our dedication that we
Okay.
can continue to deliver these projects and actually win awards
Good deal.
on a statewide level and a national level.
Okay.
It's awesome to show recognition to our folks too. I mean,
Do you have some sort of?
we do. So we draw attention to them during our safety banquet for one.
Good.
But we also kind of put our own special twist on where we classify maybe a construction project of the year.
Okay.
And nominate, kind of through my office, I would say, we nominate a project and put it in for the construction project of the year. And they don't know about it until the day of the safety banquet. And so it's kind of a surprise nomination, yeah.
Oh, that's
And
neat.
so
You're like me?
every area office will submit one to me of kind of what they think is their top ranked one, and then
Okay.
I'll pick the winner of the year.
So
of course.
what are your criteria for that?
Well, one, I kind of like to look at these. I mean, if we've got an award-winning one, this
Sure.
is what we're putting.
Okay.
We're probably putting forth, and then maybe we kind of dive into some specifics even more than that. I mean,
Okay.
what did we really accomplish? What was it before, and what was it after, and maybe the changes involved with it. So I don't know if there's necessarily kind of a specific criteria, but if they've won a TXAPA award, I mean, it's up there higher on the list for
Okay.
sure.
All right.
And we try to bring them down to TXAPA too.
Yes.
That's a big
to the
deal.
award
That's
winner,
a-
right?
that's
I
a-
mean,
that's a
such
cool
a
deal.
that's such a nice
That's a cool
spot
deal.
to honor.
Yeah.
them.
And they enjoy that.
And they've been trying to get something back where they can come back to the districts and start. Apparently, a number of years ago, they used to come around and do that in the districts and stuff.
they did.
Apparently, they're working with Carl and Eric and about trying to get that thing back up and running,
That'd
so
be
they
good.
can come back and do some stuff locally, which I think is important. Like, it's the folks in the field, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And if they can be, amongst their peers, that's a pretty good deal.
That recognition in front of everybody
Yeah.
is kind of a pretty proud moment, I think.
Yeah, I think that you look at how much work is involved, how much time, of the hours.
Yes.
It's outside, it's not inside, like you're talking about earlier, right? and there's just a lot there, and there's just like setting all this stuff up we were talking about at the beginning it's the details. It's the details that make a difference whether you're going to win something or you're going to be okay. And I think I've been a rater for a number of years. I didn't rate this year, but I've been a rater for a number of years, and we've noticed, and everybody who's in part of that, Chuck, and the other folks, is the scores are getting tighter and tighter and tighter, and they're moving up and moving up and moving up. So, winning an award this year is harder than it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and so it's I think it's good. We're stepping up and winding each other up and raising the bar, if you will, in a big scheme of things. So, I asked the question: is this, it really starts at design, right? And so, is there anything? I mean, again, if you guys do it all the time, it's your SOP. But is there anything maybe different that you guys do here, from a design perspective, that would kind of position that job? Because there's all kinds of things you can do in design, right? We can hey, we just gotta eke it out another couple years or whatever, but to really get in there and build it the right way. Anything specific in that area?
Well, I think it starts off with our commitment to delivering a quality project, right, to the public. And I think sometimes it's easy just to say, well, let's put a 2-inch overlay on this, right? And
Hit the easy button.
right, hit
Yeah.
the easy button. It
Yeah.
needs an overlay. 2 inches is the standard. Let's
Yep.
move on. But
Yeah.
we've got a really good design staff that digs into pavement design.
Okay.
We'll get the portable weighing motions. We all go look at it as a group,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So we look at our projects every year and decide, what treatment. And then as we work through the design process, that pavement design, is evolving, right? As we do estimates and stuff. And so we still want to deliver a quality project, but we got to be mindful of cost, right? We can't go put 6 inches on everything and
Right.
be done. So,
Right.
and our TP&D, he's very innovative. He will reach out and look at new techniques, whether it's cold in place recycle, hot in place recycle, FDR. You know, it just depends on the project and the materials that's there. And so
Right.
a lot of design investigation does happen to make sure that we are delivering that quality project. But then on the flip side, we've got a good group of contractors, suppliers, inspection staff, and we're fortunate to have good materials up here as well that helps with that. And so I think all that lends itself to delivering these quality projects.
Okay.
So, I mean, he pretty much answered the majority of what I was going to say too. I think it starts early on in the design. But one thing that I do like design is starting to do is they're meeting with the area offices. I'm going to say after project closeouts, and we're talking.
All right.
Hey, what do we,
I
what
wanted
do we miss?
Okay.
How can we improve? And I think it's a team environment. The designers blaming construction on not doing it right, and then the construction blaming designers. I think that's a thing of the past.
Right.
We're really honing in on how do we make it better as a group.
Okay.
And I really like that, and I think that's probably helping us get where we're at, right?
Sure. So you're not doing a one size fit all fix, right? You're going out. It's like, hey, this road needs this. This road needs this. This road needs this, instead of the 2 inches on everything, right? So you're really being able to address the warts on this particular. Hey, it's got some localized failure. It's got something like this. Let's not cover it up. Let's fix it. And then at the end, I think is super important. You're closing that loop, right? We designed it and put the design out, but I've talked to a lot of designers. I said, "You go out to the jobs? No. You ever been to the job? I'm not here. I know other places, and even consultants of design. I'm not banging on anybody, because there's a lot of work that's got to get done, and you're trying to meet all the requirements, and there's a lot of requirements you got to meet. But if we're not seeing what you're actually building, I would, if I was in that job, I would I don't know. I would want to go out and I'd want to go walk the job, drive the job, and I'd want to go see it while we're building, and I'd certainly want to do what you did at the end, is come back and have that discussion. And say, okay, hey, this is what we put out. All this worked except for this one piece. Well, this isn't working. Let's fix that. Because I think we see that in some places where they're just shoving the designs out and they don't do the follow up. And I think that is so important with this. I think it's from a performance standpoint, from an economic standpoint, you're constantly like sharpening a knife. You're refining that edge, right? You're working what you need to work to make that just to be the right thing that you're looking for. So, awesome. Last year's winner was State Highway 136 in Hutchinson County. You familiar with that?
Let's add. We actually had two.
Oh, okay.
So,
I missed one.
And the other one was US 60 in Gray County.
Okay.
And I was informed by our contractor RK Hall that it was passed on to the Sheldon Hayes.
Oh, is that okay? That's going in the Super Bowl.
So
Okay.
as of
All right.
the end of January, he had told me that it was passed on with that one.
So that had to be a couple years ago.
No,
Yep, that was
Was it-
23.
was that 23s? Okay.
Yeah, because
About
the
2 years.
So
It-
it wasn't the same project, right?
yeah,
The
but
Sheldon
it's-
Hayes was the
It's
previous
interesting
one.
because the national award, the Sheldon G. Hayes Award, which is named after one of the stalwart contractors back in the day when Napa was getting going, quality guy, and what they do for their program, it's not like, well, send me your stuff. They evaluate it twice.
Okay.
And it's got to be down for 2 years before you can actually win. So it's not like, hey, I can, our stuff, hey, you get through the year and we test it. Right now they're testing the roads that were completed last year for this year's award program.
Right.
But for the Sheldon G. Hayes, it's actually almost
2
3 years, because it's got to finish ours and then it goes to
Okay,
Napa
that was the-
and then they got to test it and then they come back and test it and then they look at all the data. So to win
2-year
one of
process.
those it's going to be a good job. So congratulations on that. That's awesome.
So that other second job was in Gray County.
Yeah.
It was about 14 miles long, and we laid about 72,000 tons of super paved.
Jeez.
So that was the other award winner last year.
Okay.
So we had two folks, we had two of our folks, one out of Pampa, one out of Dumas,
Okay.
go down there and accept some awards.
What kind of mix? So
Super paved D.
D. Okay. But how thick was it? Was it just an overlay, or was it a?
There was
There's
some
several
pavement.
lifts?
There was some pavement repair, but overlay.
Okay. That's a lot of mix for an overlay.
Yeah,
That's a pretty good job.
that's a pretty long job.
Yeah, well, that's
Pretty
great.
long job. So,
That's good.
We're good. It turned out really good. We're very pleased with it. And, we're excited to accept the award too. So it was a very good for our folks. I mean, to see that kind of circle back around and
Okay.
and that recognition side of it. So.
Yeah, I think that's super important. That's super important. And so the other one was 136.
Yes. So that one was 45,000 tons, Super Pave D as well.
Okay.
And that was out of our Dumas area office. So
Okay.
they finished that thing up, and like I said, very excited with them as well. I think some of our big challenges, because I know this is probably one of your questions
Sure.
associated with this, during this particular time was one of our biggest ones was some material availability. We had quite a bit of hot mix type of work going on, and I think
Rock
we
or
really-
binder?
Rock.
Rock.
D rock was there was a shortage.
Okay.
We had, I want to say I had 6 mobile labs, hot mix testing mobile labs set up last year running. So we had folks everywhere.
Wow.
And I mean, a testament to what's being placed out there. They got some material and got it down, and it turned out to be awesome.
Okay.
Some of the bigger challenges, I think we ran into some erosion issues, especially on that 136. There's some stuff on the north end of it's kind of through that Canadian River, and it drops down quite a bit and comes back up. But through some of those rolling terrains, we've got a little bit of erosion issues that we addressed and kind of cleaned up. But
More than 2% slope.
I would probably say so. Probably say so. It's a pretty steep little draw, that's for sure.
Cool. Awesome. Awesome. I noticed this morning, I was looking through, I saw something the other day about this is the Route 66 Centennial this year. And you guys have got the only piece of it in Texas.
That's right,
you know.
I-40.
And that's 100 years of that roadway back in 1924?
26.
I think you
26.
went to
26.
Oklahoma City last week for recognition.
So there's if you want to come to Amarillo, it's June 4th through the 13th. They've got a 10-day celebration here. They got a rodeo. They have all kinds of bands and all kinds of stuff. So
10-day party.
yeah, there you go. Good deal. It's amazing. You look back. We talk about stuff that happened in the old days. It's like maybe 10, 15 years ago. But now you're looking back 100 years and stuff. And pavement's been around and comes right through your city.
Yeah.
It came down from Illinois and comes across and goes out to California. So that was the road in the day.
That's right.
The road.
The mother road. The mother road.
The road. That kind of started a lot of stuff in the West, other than your cattle roads that turned into dirt roads that turned
All the
into
trails.
paved roads and
All the
everything
trails.
else. And going up in there, so that's cool. Yeah, what do you got coming up this year? You guys anything that might be in the ringer for next year?
So
Or that have already let, or you're going to let?
we have some that we plan on paving this season. I want to say there's a project with one of our contractors, Jaley Milligan, who's got a project on US 385 that we're hoping to knock out a big portion of that. At least there's kind of 2 segments associated with it, but there's a paving portion, and we're kind of widening some driveways in a different location. So hopefully it'll be a contender for our next cycle.
Well, you got to keep the
we got to keep
the thing going.
Yeah, every paving project we led, Jim.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, every one of them.
that would have been the next question. Is
every one of them.
I think in some cases when you have a job, and you talked about earlier, it's like, hey, it may not be out here. We got to do something to get us to the point when we can do the whole thing or whatever it is. We got to get down the road. But I like the idea. Is we should look at every job as a potential award winner, and I think that's a mindset to me. And I'm actually glad you said that, because that to me, it's just like, why can't we? Because if you don't even try, or if it doesn't even bring up, it's like, well, whatever. And I'm not saying it's cool to have the award, right? It's cool to be recognized for doing something really, really good in the state, especially as big as Texas is. But just having that mindset going into it and say, hey, and it comes from you, it comes from the top. And so why can't we do this? Why can't this be an award winner? Why can't we do the things? And so I think that motivation then drives down through design, through materials, through construction, and through maintenance, et cetera, to say, hey, he's serious about this. Why can't we win? And like you said, it does take a team, but it's all doable. Mm-hmm. It's all doable. And the things that we're looking for, or that TXAPA is looking for in that award, are we want it to be smooth. We want it to look good. We want it to ride good. We don't want fat spots. We want good joints. We want those kinds of things that the public is going to gain from. And I think if we can do that, then, hey, why not? But I think sometimes the hardest part of this job, the hardest part of construction, is doing the same thing well every day. Mm-hmm. The first ton and the last ton and everything in between. That to me is everybody can have a great day. Everybody can have a great week. But can you have a great year and just keep hitting it out of the park every day, and guys working 10, 12, 14-hour days, 5, 6 days a week. Yeah. And then that fatigue can kind of wear in. But kudos to, Amarillo TXDOT. You guys use consultants up here? You use consultants up here?
For inspection?
For anything?
So we run them with our labs.
With the labs?
I think me and Wes have been, over the last 2 years, really trying to develop our in-house testing.
All right.
And so we're standing that back up.
Okay.
And then we do have some staff augmentation with the consultants, a couple inspectors here and there.
Good. Well, TXDOT, consultants, contractors, suppliers. We talked about that. And just getting it out and going after it. So
it just takes a lot of people taking pride in their work, right?
Yeah, I think so. And that's... And I think somebody's got to motivate them though. Mm-hmm. Someone's got to say, "Hey, keep after it. You guys are hanging in there." I think that's the hard part. And I think sometimes we forget that people just need to be told that they're doing a good job. I'm talking to myself now because I have people who work for me now, and I ride them hard. You guys know it. But we want to try to produce something that's really good, mm-hmm. right? And so you have to have the drive. And you have to keep after people to encouraging them to do that and find the motivation points that work. I was out on a job a couple of years ago, and I was doing a lot of out work, instead of office work, and I just started before I'd go out, I'd fill up my cooler, Gatorade and water, mm-hmm. And I'd stop and I'd pull it out, and they're like, "Who the heck are you?" But I'll take the drink, But it's just little stuff. I was out on a job out on I-10 with a contractor, and it was the middle of summer. It was hot, and their safety guy, he kept walking around with popsicles. He'd stick a popsicle. I was like, I said no. He says, "No, you're gonna take one.
Not an option. It's not an
I don't want you falling out here. This is too far from anywhere." So. Those kinds of things, I think, mean things to people because they know you care about them, mm-hmm. and I think that's the important stuff in there. You mentioned your designers, and just like any business, TXDOT has a lot of turnover. Mm-hmm. And how long have your designers been in place here? Or are they new? Have they been around a while, or changing?
We range a little bit.
You range a little bit.
So got a good mix.
You had a good mix.
I mean, of course, we bring in EAs, so they're pretty young. So I'm going to say 0 to 10 years. So,
okay.
So we kind of got that kind of wide range of expertise. So.
But I think, to me, what you said earlier is getting them involved in that closeout.
Yes.
Is super important.
Yes.
And I think if we can, that helps. Oh, okay, I did that. That worked, or that didn't work. I don't need to do the same thing, because I think from a contractor's perspective, one of the things that kind of gets them upset is they keep sending these damn plan sets out, and they got the same damn thing in it, and we keep telling them, and they're not learning, and now we got to fight it out in the field, and
that's right.
then we lose our focus, because now we're fighting over something that it wasn't intentional. Mm-hmm. It was just, it's just whatever. Well, I think it ought to look like this, and it's like, oh God, we can't build it that way.
Yeah.
Just because you can draw it with a CAD program doesn't mean you could put a highway paver and a whole roller set in there and make it fit. And I think that's the challenge that we all face, is trying to help these folks, young, old, whatever. But if they're not getting out there and seeing that,
It's true.
and not knowing I can't put a 10-foot paver in a 10-foot hole, because the paver's wider than 10 foot.
Yeah, the
But
way
we see, you know,
Good. The way we explain it is construction and design are married. Right?
okay,
And so
good.
it's hard to be a good designer if you don't understand construction.
I love that.
And it's hard to make good decisions in the field if you don't understand the design behind it. Right?
Amen.
And so they're married.
So I'll add to
We're
it.
going to use that. I'm
You
gonna
know,
steal
I do like that. So I'll add to it. So in our review processes, we do a 30, 60, 90 review, even with a kickoff meeting. So hopefully these opportunities are provided because we don't just include designers, right? We're including leadership, we're including the area office staff. And so they're all involved with this. And hopefully with the plan review process, we're catching maybe these general notes or catching, hey, constructability issues and addressing that up front where when it is time, we're not seeing the issues, hopefully.
Sure.
Ideally. Now, we're always going to see something, right?
It's the nature of the beast.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. So,
But I think is it, yeah, okay, if something comes up, let's talk about it,
exactly.
right?
Yes.
Or as opposed to, hey, you bid it,
You're
you
stuck
go
with
build it, right? We hear that from time to time. Well, you bid it.
We may joke
That
with-
must mean you know how to build it. And I was like, we bid it because we need to work, and we're going to sort through the stuff that we don't understand, which is
It's
typical.
a partnership.
It
Yeah,
is.
It is.
It's a partnership.
It is. So obviously, most of what we're talking about is communication, right? There's the technical nature of the technical aspects of doing the forensic and understanding what's out there and figuring out what you need to do and measuring the traffic and all that kind of stuff. And you guys have mentioned it a bunch of times already, but communicating the different groups, right?
Yes.
And between design and construction and all these areas. I think that's, and you've already mentioned how you do that. Is there any other things that you guys do from, meetings or from, site visits or something where you try to make sure everybody's on the same page?
He touched base on this, but I kind of wanted to hit it one more time. So once a year, we do kind of our 4-year review. We all jump in, basically leadership all jumps in a van, and we have already sent TP&D kind of our prioritized list of projects. Directors, AEs, him, and we kind of map our routes out of going to look at these things. And so we get an opportunity to go look at it. We kind of take notes down, and then we all kind of congregate back here at the district and get an opportunity to kind of really set maybe what I would say some preliminary scope.
So you put it up on the whiteboard and go sort
Yes,
of deal?
yes,
Okay.
yeah, we do.
Something like that,
Something
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And so we all kind of talk about it, and we all prioritize really the overall district, kind of how we're wanting to see future lettings, right? So I think it's an early opportunity to kind of address what we're wanting to accomplish and making sure specific roadways are given. Even the area engineers get an opportunity to kind of campaign for their particular roads. They may not necessarily win in the overall ranking process, but they get an opportunity to provide feedback, and I really like that process.
Yeah, and I think it really boils down to being in Amarillo, and we're a large district, but we try to keep it small, and so in design, it's not the design engineer and the TP&D, right? And so we make sure that construction, design, maintenance, and operations are all crossed over, and so they got input in every decision, right? And so I think that's really is keeping folks involved and engaged out in the field, right? It's hard to manage anything from the office, and so we got to stay out in the field.
You got to
go.
keep go get your boots dirty.
Right.
You do.
Yeah. Well,
Can't see
cool.
an issue.
Go ahead.
So you can't see an issue happening if you ain't out there, right? So.
Or it's hard to, I think in a lot of cases, we talk about communication. Somebody sends an email or someone sends a text or something like this, and even words can be misconstrued, right? We're having a problem, we're having this or that, or somebody said this or that, and I think in what I've noticed in my world is we'll get a phone call.
Pick up the phone.
Well, yeah, number one, pick the phone
I
up,
agree
right?
with that statement.
But someone says, hey, da-da-da's happening, right? You go, okay, well, let me make a couple phone calls. And you call the other side, you can go, right? And they go, well, I said, what's the deal with this job? And they go, well, da-da-da's happening. And I'm like going, okay, all right.
So
And
it's
you
two
maybe hear
sides.
somebody else, and sometimes there's three sides, or
Yes.
sometimes four sides of the story, and it's like that old movie, The X-Files. The truth is out there, right? We got to find it, right? But again, I don't think it's intentional. It's our biases that we were raised with, and all the things that we look at certain things. You guys both went to tech. That gives you a perspective on the world, in Lubbock, and I went to Purdue. So it's like, that's a whole different perspective. But we're both in the fields. So it's, but and where we were raised and how we were raised and all that kind of stuff. But I think sometimes people get upset. Why didn't you understand? I wrote it down. It's right there. Why don't you take care of that? And it's like, well, I didn't understand it. And
Taking out of
sometimes you got to
context.
understand. It's like, what did you really mean by this?
Yes.
It's like writing specifications. You guys do contract language all the time, but it's like you write something, you think it's clear. You give it to three other people, they go, what the heck were you talking about? I don't understand this at all. And I think it's a reality. It's a real thing. And I think people got to understand that. Is sometimes if someone's being just like, well, why don't you understand it? And it's like, well, it's maybe just because they don't. And maybe it's because maybe it's you, or maybe it's me. It's like, well, I guess I just didn't write this clear enough, or I didn't explain it clear enough. I need to explain it again. So I think to me, it's one of those things we got to be able to just like, okay, suck it up. Let's try again.
You got to have your eye at the end, right, on delivering a quality project, and you got to listen to folks, and then you have to have a conversation and try to understand it from their side in order to come to a solution.
He pushes a big one of face-to-face meetings, and so
Well, do you?
we
Okay.
kind of have some disagreements or maybe some confusion.
Yeah.
And he always quizzes me. Have you met with him? I'm like, all right, understood.
Yes, sir.
Understood. We've talked on the phone a few times, but sometimes sitting down with that set of plans and talking it through, we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
Maybe we just didn't quite understand. We took the text out of context, right? So
Absolutely, happens
it
a lot. Happens a lot. We see it and all the time. And I think with the technology that we have now, with Teams, right, and with digital video and all this kind of stuff, it's an awesome thing. But I noticed when I'm on a Teams call now, I was on a couple of them this week. You look up, and nobody's got their camera on. It's not. It's bad, and it wouldn't just might go back to conference calling if we're going to do that. But to me, it's what I would agree. Sitting down like this is great because I can see your passion. I can see what's going on with you guys. If we did this on the phone, it wouldn't be near, I think, as good. And I've done some of these kinds of things in Teams, and it's not near as. I don't. It's hard.
You just don't have that human connection, right?
And so, we'll remember this conversation, right?
Yes.
But how many times do you remember a call or a conference call that you had? How many did you have this week? It's Friday. You probably had 10 of them, maybe,
Too many, Jim,
or
too
more.
many.
And so this is we gotta, and I think that's where a lot of this business started from. A lot of business way back in the day started with a handshake. It's like, hey, I'm gonna build your road. Okay, cool. All right, it needs to be this wide, this thick, whatever. And we've gotten to the point now where it's a lot more complicated than that, and we got to figure that stuff out. So it's good. It's good. So I'm, I was saying, how do you design and construct and communicate? And you say you're doing it from day one, which is pretty much awesome. And I think that helps explain why you guys have won, last nine awards in the last 6 years, because you're being proactive instead of reactive.
Communication is one of those things that is constant. You have to constantly be intentional about it, and everybody's work in progress on that.
Always room for improvement.
That, amen to there. So we talked about a lot of what you guys do internally, from a contractual relationship. Once that project actually is let, contractor signs the paperwork, and okay, now we're off and running. What does that look like? What does your pre-con look like? Your prepave meetings look like?
I think it's a two-way conversation, the way that I've always seen it, and I think it really starts from. It may even really start before the pre-con, right? We're kind of in some communication early on. Get to the pre-con, we get that face-to-face meeting, and we really get to kind of talk through some issues.
Okay.
Because we're always seeing something, or they generally always see something in terms of the contractor that we need to talk about in the plans, right? And so, one, we're trying to address the issues up front, trying to get out ahead of it before the work even starts, and that those relationships are just key. Mm-hmm. We identify our folks, whoever we're putting on the project, and kind of identify the chain of command on both ends, and generally their hierarchy and us or me. We've worked so long together to begin with that we just, if something happens, we're on the phone before the end of the day and working on a solution,
Okay.
right?
Again, being
so
proactive. Yeah.
we don't want anything hung up, and we don't want anything holding up progress. The intent is to move and to keep going and to quality and build
Timely
quality.
decisions.
Yes.
Proactive. Focus on the goal. That sort of stuff. Absolutely. Okay.
And it's just that communication. I mean, I know we've been talking that, we've been beating that horse, but it's just that important. If you build that communication relationship up front and just continue it, it shows. When we've won a handful of them, really. So,
Yeah, absolutely. That's cool. And you're in the running for another big one. That's a pretty cool deal. And then obviously your lab, communicating test results back and forth, making sure all that stuff. So I'm assuming you're working on that time sharing information.
We have some guidelines that are established in terms of the timeliness of testing material and providing results, and I think our relationships with our internal lab are. Communication is just a work in progress, but I think we're improving and we're getting better and better as the days go on, and the feedback I've been receiving is pretty positive as of lately. So I feel we're in the right direction.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something about what I think is really cool is our contractors, when they start having issues at the plant, we don't have to tell them they're having issues.
Okay.
Right?
They're like, hey,
They're like,
pull
hey,
the plug.
stop.
Shut it down. We're shutting down.
Shut down.
Yeah.
So
we figure it out.
You don't have to have those conversations.
Good.
Very rarely.
That's good. I think that's awesome. I think that builds trust.
It does, right?
So they're gonna take care of business when no one's watching them, or
They pride quality.
They're being proactive.
Right. They pride that quality, and so when you take that initiative to stop, man, that's just a win-win.
Good deal. And we've covered pretty much what I wanted to cover. How much you spend on asphalt up here?
I knew you'd quiz on this one. So I looked into kind of some recent lettings, and so about 85% of our project cost or our total overall expenditure for the FY is geared towards asphalt-related projects.
Okay.
And so, the other ones are generally, bridge, ITS, and traffic-related projects. But we got a good chunk of it geared mainly to asphalt. And primarily, most of our district is asphalt.
I did see some another color driving up yesterday.
Yeah. Interstate's gonna be a little bit different because I assume that's probably where you came in on a little bit of it. So, but primarily we are an asphalt district.
Good. And so your primary mixes are Prepave mixes. Do you do any SMA?
Yes.
We do.
A little bit.
Generally put that on more of the interstate,
the high volume stuff?
roadways. Yes, sir.
Okay.
I turned in one on 287 this year with.
So like your mix designs are kind of an evolution, and so if you look back at the days of dense grade, we asked ourselves, do you want a rudder or crack?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then so and then we went to like a Prepave C, and then we've gone to a Prepave D, and now we're putting SMA, and so we're really trying to design the pavement for the project.
Okay.
And I think that's key for us. Is sometimes it needs a C, sometimes it needs a D, sometimes it needs an SMA.
Okay. But you're kind of focused on a couple of designs or a couple of different mix types instead of having all of them.
Seed,
right.
Yeah,
and so I think that helps the contractors in a lot of cases because I can they can gear up. They can gear their stockpiles. Hey, we're making a lot of D, okay, and or C's and D's, and so we can build those piles. They can work with the suppliers, and so give them a head start. They we're not using some weird fraction or something like this that we're gonna have to change our whole production at the quarry, and they're not going to want to do it anyway in order to do that. So I think that's a big deal when you can be more consistent from your supply chain through your production. We're not changing mixes 4 or 5 times during the day. You can make mix all day. I guess even in urban area, you got night paving, right? And then you probably still have a lot of day paving, I'm assuming, out here. And then you got some plants, so they may end up running 24 hours a day in some cases. Feeding one crew at night, and another crew during the day, and so then they got to take care of business sometime, as they're transitioning. So, good deal. So how much time every week do you guys, I'm just curious, I'm just trying to think, I haven't really interviewed you guys, DOCs and DEs from this perspective is I know you're involved in everything, right? Particularly in your job, right? How much time do you spend in a week on asphalt? Do you spend? I'm just curious. So I get probably seasonal as well.
Between our maintenance operations, our construction, we lay our own mix up here. We do, we do our own seal coats.
Okay.
And so between maintenance and construction, the majority of this is asphalt, and there's always a question coming up.
Okay.
I think we had one the other day is whether we should shoot an emulsion before we come back with a hot AC on it. How long should it sit, right? And
okay.
And so I think and even going to the rolling patterns in our maintenance operations. And then, we try to drive every project once a month. And
oh, really? That's good.
So it's
a continuum.
It's continual.
Okay, it's full contact.
It's our system, right?
Yeah. But you're involved in, planning meetings and all kinds. You got DEs of you guys too. You guys have got a huge scope of stuff that you're involved in. So it's good to see. Yeah.
Very true. Well, I was trying to think of a true number. I kind of looked at your question and thought about this, but at the same time, it's really hard to answer because it's like random questions pop up, and random questions pop up about asphalt every day. It seems like
All right.
And I'm dealing with one currently. So I would say on and off, I may be able to say a quarter of the time, depending upon what we're really trying to do.
Gotcha.
We may be looking at the roadway in terms of what we're seeing in pavement, and so it's hard to nail a percentage down.
No problem.
It's a good question, and it got me to thinking a lot about it. So I don't.
Well, let me. So what? Obviously, you've got mixes now that you're working with, and you're using with Prepave, DCs, SMAs, those kinds of things. From an industry perspective, and Apex is actually part of you guys. It's your contract, so I'm feeling like I'm kind of crossing over the line all day nowadays. But what other improvements in asphalt would you like to see? Is there anything specifically that's like, hey, we keep running into this problem, or whatever, or is there something out there that industry can work on, or we can work on together?
I'd kind of ask this same question to some of my folks, and I know you visited with Jared Naylor a little bit about this.
Yep.
And so, I don't know if there's necessarily anything particularly, but we do like some of the information that you guys are putting out, and we're trying to share it with our folks, and really just building our team. Like our experience level's probably pretty similar to our design in terms of inspection, and so got a lot of folks that don't know if they really grasp the overall concept yet.
Okay.
So some basic information and information sharing can go a long ways, and I think they're taking that and running with it, and I find it pretty valuable.
Gotcha. What about you?
We're always been chasing that goal that we'll never reach of a longer lasting pavement, right? Yeah. It's something that we keep chasing, and I think we got to keep chasing it, right?
Yeah.
And so I think we've seen this throughout our careers is that our pavements get better. through modifications, through new technology. And I think we just got to keep chasing that. Is how do we keep designing for the next? Because traffic's not going to go down.
Nope.
Right.
Nope.
Our loads are getting heavier and heavier, and so
You're
our
not gonna be-
pavements are going to
You're
have
not
to.
going to be driving doing the flying car deal up here. It's like the next big thing.
Yeah, I mean,
But they're not going to be flying, cargo. At least not.
we're
not
just
in any
asking
time
more
soon.
of our pavements.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's not your dad's.
that's right.
It's
Not that
your
inch and a
dad's
half
pavement,
overload, right?
Yes, and so
Not that.
we've got to be able to keep up with that and understand that. And the problem is, when you design an asphalt pavement, design life's 20 years, right? Well, who the heck can if
Right.
any of us could predict 20 years in the future, we probably would not be working here.
Exactly.
We'd be retired somewhere with a big cash fund somewhere. But that's super hard. And right now it's right, we were talking about this earlier. The new thing is data centers, right?
I was about to say,
Well, I mean, there's a lot of work involved in that. Has a huge impact on the infrastructure, both above ground and below ground with water and everything else like that. But what's it going to be in 5 more years? We don't even know yet, right?
Exactly.
So we got to be able to be prepared. And I think you guys as an agency have a very daunting task to try to put something out there that we hope we got it right, but knowing that we don't have all the variables locked down, and so we're just going to say, hey, we're building this thing, in some cases, like you're talking about, some of these old farm to market roads that have just been built up over time, and now somebody wants to start drilling out there or put a wind farm out there, and they tear it up. It was never designed for that sort of loads, and so but. Now we got to go do something. So it's fascinating. All right. Did we miss anything? Did I miss anything we want to talk about? You guys have been great.
I don't think so. I enjoyed the conversation.
All right. So I always ask this at the end. So going to make you king for a day or kings for. Well, you eat individually. You get today and you get tomorrow, and you get to change anything. What is it and why?
I'm letting you go first.
Go ahead, Wes.
It can be anything. We have heard a bunch of them.
Oh, this would be a tough one. I don't know if I'd necessarily have something to change, but I'd like for folks to understand their value in this, in the role of these things, and I feel like us kind of giving them recognition for one. I feel like we under-recognize some of our folks because they finish these long projects, right? And
Off to the next one.
I mean, that's what happens, right?
Yep.
We're like, hey, here's an award.
Yeah.
Hey, there's
Get
another
back to work.
paving job.
Get back to
over
work,
there.
yeah.
So I think our recognition process and honoring and kind of valuing our employee on that side of it's something that we need to work on. And,
Okay.
And if I was king for a day, maybe that's something that I would probably see if we could change up a little bit and try to figure out how to do it. And I'll be honest, I've been trying to figure out how to do it anyways. But it's a challenge. So that'd probably be my answer.
I like it. That's a good one.
I don't think I can top that, Jim.
Oh, you don't get you don't get a free ride, and you can't say ditto.
We got it pretty good in Amarillo, Jim. It's a pretty nice spot to be. We've got good contractors, good materials, delivered good projects. I think if I had to change one thing, it's like anything, right? How do we get more resources?
Okay. All right. Okay.
But it's something you got to take our limited resources and then put forth the best projects that we can.
Yep.
And that's key, is delivering these quality projects to the public.
Good deal. Keep driving to the mission. I mean, you got to have a target. And keep aiming at the target and keep everybody focused on what the target is. And it's like, if you don't have a target, how do you know if you hit anything, right?
Exactly.
You got to have. And I think consistency from management is you guys, I'm calling you management, but consistency from management to everybody, to your own people, to the contractors and everybody else, and say, hey, this is our goal, guys. Let's figure out how to get there. And when we have a meeting next week, we're going to talk about, here's our goal.
Right.
How do we get there? And I think people go, oh, he's serious about it. And as opposed to just, more concerned about something else or whatever. So, thank you for your time today. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you
Jim,
coming.
Appreciate it. Thanks
Thanks
so
for
much.
coming up.
Yeah.
So that's it today. I appreciate the conversation that we've had, and want to thank Wes and Blair for sitting in today and allowing us to invade your conference room for an hour. Just a reminder that these air on the third Thursday of the month at 3:00. You can go to Texas Asphalt Pavement or TexasAsphalt.org and click on the events and click on Everyday Asphalt, and you can sign up and get on the mailing list for the next one. And so and then we look for it throughout our newsletters and Apex, TXAPA, online, social media, etc. We try to put those out as well. So appreciate you being here. And then you can also see these on YouTube. They post the same day at 5:00, and they'll also be posted up on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, etc. So you can listen to them as you're cruising down a highway and going to look at projects or taking your kid to the baseball game or whatever. So thank you so much today. Be safe out there. Ever forward, everybody.